So most of you don't know too much about this, good.
Yeah.
So no, why I'm saying good is because this story. There's a martial arts student who has practiced many things, and so he goes to see this master because he wants to learn more. And master says, "Okay, come in." And so he's getting ready, and the student doesn't stop talking. He's like, "Oh, I have been practicing since I was small. First I did judo, and then I did karate, and I learned these skills. And actually I also learned the weapons and kobudo, and all this, And the tea is ready, and the master says, "Okay, you want some tea?" So the student is holding the cup. The master starts to pour the tea. And then he's pouring over, it's like it burns the fingers of the poor student, the student is like, what is happening? What is happening? Master says, "See, when the cup is full, we cannot put anything, pour any more things." So that's why in some way it's not a bad thing when people, sometimes you come with a free mind, because there's not so much things of like, "Oh, will it be like this? It's not like that, I expected something different, something like this." So we can start in a more like natural, basic way. So in China, they do like martial arts very much. That has been like a long thing. And they were very concerned always also about like health. How can you live in a healthy way? So one of the very important Chinese traditions is the Taoist tradition. So I'm sure that all of you have seen one way or another. This one. India. So that is like the basic of, you could say, like of the Taoism. Taoism. Tao actually, sometimes it's written D-A-O, sometimes it's written T-A-O, not Tao. It's just, because it's Chinese characters, so how do you transcribe it? And Tao, on one meaning is, it's the way. It's how things are. But at the same time, it's also what is beyond everything. In a certain way, maybe in India you would say it's God, or it's what is even beyond what you can call God. But that is the Tao. And so for the Taoists, one of the important things is how do we harmonize with this? Because if we don't harmonize, then we'll be suffering. So how do we harmonize with the Tao? And this year, it's called Taiji. It's actually, at the beginning there was nothing. Or there was nothing and everything, but it's beyond what you can say. We cannot perceive it as such. And then at some point, like two principles came, yin-yang. And it's only when you had this separation between these two principles that actually creation is happening. So in the Taoist thinking, the supreme reality, which we can know, because what is beyond this we cannot say anything about. They call Wuji. But then the supreme reality, this is Taiji. And this is this yin-yang. And so in the Chinese thinking, out of this yin-yang, this polarity, come the 5 elements, which are actually like different 5 elements than in India. And then from these 5 elements come the 10,000 things, everything. And so when you're practicing, like when you're like a Taoist, or like all these arts which are based on the Tao, we are in the world of the 10,000 things, of all these diversities there. And so how little by little can you understand again, like what is the underlying principles? How can we harmonize with this, and by harmonizing with this, how can we become one again, like with everything? So the idea of harmonizing then also means harmony is health. What is it when you're not healthy? Like, oh, pain is there, this is there. It means like the engine is not running properly. Engine is running properly. I have one friend, when he's driving, he likes his car very much. So he's like, even little noises comes. What is it? Some noises there. I have to check. And when is it running properly? No noise. Then it means that everything is happening as it should be happening. So for the Taoists, the thing is, how do we harmonize? How do we become healthy? How do we become healthy at physical level? But how do we become healthy on the energy, emotional level? How do we become healthy on the mental level? How do we become healthy on the spiritual level? All these things are mixed together. And so the idea is that instead of, in some of the yoga traditions, you don't want to be here. What is the fundamental disease from that perspective? It's to be born. If you're born, it means you're not perfect. And so you want to have moksha, you want to leave that place. Some traditions will emphasize like how to get out of here. In the Taoist way, it will be more no. Things are what they are. How do you harmonize with what is? And the more that you're going to harmonize with it, little by little, the more like healthy and harmonious become until you're in harmony with everything. And then they will call this, you become immortal. And like maybe here you would say you have reached moksha or samadhi or jivanmukta or whatever, It's the same thing. But so for them it comes to this idea of health. And so the Chinese traditions have on the one hand evolved a number of practices, which sometimes we translate, it's called like life nourishing practice. How do you nourish your life? How do you have life which is abundant and then also which is flowing? Because if you have a lot of energy but it's stuck somewhere, again it will create some difficulty. The thing is, how do you have a rich, nourishing life, and at the same time, how can this life circulate when you live? And so there are some practices which now are called usually Qi Gong. So Qi, it means like prana, energy. Qi is energy. Gong, it means actually Kung Fu. So Gong Fu is Kung Fu. So we know Kung Fu Panda. So usually we think Kung Fu, we think it's fighting or martial art. But actually the word Kung Fu, what it means a skill that you have developed through a lot of practice. So actually you can see somebody has Kung Fu in yoga, or somebody has Kung Fu in playing piano, or somebody has Kung Fu in cooking. So whenever you have attained a high skill through a lot of work, this is called Kung Fu. And so when I think Britishers came like century ago, so then like fighting, and then people, this person has Kung Fu, And so then they were thinking, he has Kung Fu, like he knows the martial art. So that is how actually this term improperly became used for saying martial art, but actually it just means this skill. So Qi Gong, it means like the skill to master energy. So you could translate in one way like pranayama. Okay? The way of doing it is different, but like you could say Qigong is a little like pranayama actually. And so there's four main I would say applications. So principles will be the same, but it has been applied like four fields. One is this, I said life nourishing. Is your general health. Like how will you maintain your health? And how, especially when you're getting older, how you still maintain that health, In the Tao Te Ching, they say like when things get old, they become dry, they become breakable, So actually what you have to do is, if you want to remain more healthy, if you want to remain alive, you have to cultivate softness, suppleness, flexibility. That is the signs of something which is alive. So that's like life nourishing, in the sense of practices which nourish your vitality. Second aspect is, you can call it healing. So one thing is healing yourself. So sometimes we get sick or something, so we have some problem with, liver or lungs or whatever. So there's certain practices to help, to restore our health. So the other one was not to restore, the other was to maintain and to enhance. Second one is to heal. And also in a lot of the traditional practices of of healing. We were talking acupuncture, for example. Traditionally, like when they were using the needles also, you have to put your energy in the needles. The needle has to be energized. So if you want to do those things, you have to have the energy. So lots of the healing arts were also based on the fact that the person who is healing also has the energy and the knowledge of the energy. So this would be like two parts of, like, say, healing Qigong or medical Qigong, like for oneself, but even you want to heal other persons, you also have to have certain practices. Third is martial arts. You want to be like more powerful, or you want to be able to take blows, you know. So if you can use the Qi, like to make you stronger, make you more resistant, make you more, so that is martial arts. And fourth one is spiritual. If you look like in Ashtanga Yoga, you know? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Asana, Pranayama, then Pratyahara can come, then Dharana, and so on. Energy needs to come. So the same thing, in those things, you want to go to the higher levels of meditation, but your body should be fit, and you must have some energy. Now, if you want to go up, you need some energy. If you don't have any energy, you will stay down, because there's no electricity supply, so your elevator will, will be grounded. So these are the four, I would say, main levels. Now actually I am practicing more, I came from the martial arts, more spiritual side, and so it's like more the life nourishing and martial arts, and you can say also spiritual aspect which is there. But then practicing more and more, and then also starting to teach, and people have health problems and all these things, you know. And so little by little I get more and more interested also in the healing part. And you have lots of masters. In China it's a little like in India, like Kalalipayattu, like lots of the masters, they have the martial art, they also heal, doctors. Healing and martial art is together. And why? Because when you practice these arts, you start to understand, you know, like all these energies and all these things. So they're related. And so sometimes when you want to be a doctor, and then, you know, in order to become better doctor, you practice some of the martial arts. And sometimes you do the martial arts, and then, you know, little by little you start to be more and more interested, you know, in the healing aspect. So this is to give you the general idea. And so the two things that we will give a little introduction today is, on the one hand, Qigong. And so it's a more general Qigong, like 8 pieces of brocade, it's called. So it's like, brocade is this very silk, you know, like precious. So why did they call these 8 pieces of brocade? Because it's like they consider that these exercises are as precious for your health, you know, than brocade used to be. And so you will see in these Qigong exercises, it's some movements and some breathing. But the aim of the movement is only to for your health. There is no other reason for the movement. Taiji Quan. So this is Taiji. Quan means fist. So it also means boxing. Shaolin Quan is like the Shaolin martial arts. Baji Quan. Xinyi Chuan is like the mind and form boxing. You know, like whenever you see Chuan, Q-U-A-N, sometimes they write it C-H-U-A-N, you know, it depends on how it's translated. It means like fist, it means boxing. So Taiji Chuan is the boxing of the supreme ultimate. It's the boxing of yin and yang. And so it's part of the internal martial arts. It's part of those arts that wanted to look at this, like especially energy part. And so when they created the martial art, they tried to put all this knowledge, you know, from Taoism and the medical, so that actually when you're practicing, so in Taiji, every movement that you practice is a fighting movement. You know, I'm pulling, I'm pushing, you know, every movement is actually like it's for fighting. But the way that you practice it, like in a slow way, in an aware way, is actually it's a Qigong.
What's the difference?
So the difference is, you can say that Taiji Chuan is also a form of Qigong, because it will make your energy circulate, it will nourish your system and so on. But all the movements are fighting movements. Whereas if you just look at Qigong, so that's the same thing, but Qigong there is no fighting aspect. So in that sense, like they say, Taiji Chuan on the first level it will be some health practice. We'll do the two different things. So I will show you at the beginning this Baduan Jin. It's quite easy, and then you can have it in the video, so you can watch. And then Taiji Chuan we will not do very much. But the thing is that I found very useful is the walking. Just the basic walking of Taiji. Because I really found that in the city where I live now, there's lots of elderly people. And so I realized that for them sometimes it's difficult to do. And so this is a very natural kind of exercise, but which is very good like for your back and for your legs and for, and so I was thinking like, so this I wanted to share with you. And then also like in this Taiji, so because if we move, we will be walking, it's a very beautiful way to start to understand yin-yang. Because you have like one foot which will get empty, or full, like herbs. The other will get empty, so little by little you start. One of the ways to start to experience yin yang in our bodies, on a basic level, is full and empty. Where is full? Where is empty? How does empty change to full? How does full change to empty? And this we will not have so much in the Qigong. And that is why I always like to give, at least even if only more short time, I like to give a little of that, so that you can get that kind of taste. And then you can also practice it, and the last thing maybe I would like to say is that because we have emphasized more the health and energy and all these things, but the Chinese say that first you have to have the vitality. Like in the arts of Wutang Chan, we are practicing. So, especially when you're young, how can you get vitality? You move. And so that's why you will do maybe this like Kung Fu Panda style, all these things, because it will give you a healthy body, it will give you some energy. So that is one thing. Then once you start to have this like basic vitality, then we want to transform it. We want to make it more subtle and more. So that is, Jing will be transformed to Qi. In that sense, Qi is a more, it's like when you talk of Pancha Prana Vayu, then Prana, okay, everything is Prana, but then you use it in a more specific way. So same thing, Qi you can take on a very general way, or when they talk it here, it's meaning like it's a refined version of Jin. Then when you start to have a lot of this energy, then again we refine it to Shen, which is mind. And then when little by little the mind becomes more clear and more stable, then we open up the mind, make it empty. And when this happens, then you can become one with the Tao. So that's the way up. And then if you're a healer, you're a martial artist, what do you want to do? Okay, you're up, but then how do you transform this? You are the Tao. How will it go into your mind? How will the mind manifest in the energy? How will the energy manifest to the body? So it's this way of going up and going down. And in the Chinese way, even it's the same. Everything is the same thing. It's just like water. It's like a vapor. Then it's clouds. Then it rains. It's the drops. Then maybe it freezes. It becomes hard, but it's the same water. It's just different states of the same thing. And so the whole practices that we're doing also, it's this idea of this continuum. So the walking, for example, that we're going to do, on the one hand, it's good for your body. But lots of people I know, they just like it, especially if you have like a nice little park or some little garden or nature or something like this. Because as you're walking with awareness, and you're doing it like this, it also calms your mind. And it's actually by getting your mind more calm, and also like your body starts to harmonize. And little by little, this energy is also coming. So actually everything that we're going to do, it's very much related the different levels. From the most physical level to the more mind level. And the last thing, and then we go to practice. And so this is the one thing I want you to really remember very much, is that one of the important things in the Tao approach is to say, the natural way, or nature is the way of the Tao. You always should follow nature. You should never try to force something. You should never try to impose something. So for some people it may be okay, you need some non-veg diet, be non-veg. At a certain point maybe, you cannot even take it anymore, okay, stop taking it. Some people need lots of exercise, okay, go for it. Some people need less, okay, that's okay. So the very important rule, like in the Taoist approach, is you should listen and you should go with the natural flow. There is intelligence inside of you. You should follow that intelligence. And so also when you're practicing, don't push yourself. The rule is, whenever we practice, we should stay inside of 70% of what we can do. And then little by little, this 70% will become more and more and more and more. From time to time, we can have a challenge, test. That's okay. But if every day, I'm seeing this in the gyms nowadays, people go to the gym, and you go home and, and then you feel, I worked out. That was good, But if you keep practicing like this on a long term, actually you will deplete your energy. Because your organs will get tired, because every time you stop your training and then your body has to recreate, So they say this is not a very wise way of practicing. So usually when you practice, 70%. And so maybe at the beginning you will also see that maybe at the beginning for our knees, it's not so comfortable. So if you start to feel, okay, then you stop. So maybe at the beginning you just do like 10 minutes practice. And then you can increase, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And if you go to some Chinese, like in the parks, and you see the people practicing, or when I'm in my school, so this morning practice is like 3 hours or something. Some people for 3 hours will practice non-stop. Some people will do a little warm-up together, half an hour, and then they will sit down, they will have some tea, for half an hour, something like this. And they will do something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and again they will sit down, So when I first came from Europe, I was like, what is this kind of class? Everybody is doing, even not only that some of them are not practicing, even having their tea, and maybe they have a little snack, What kind of class is this? And then only little by little I started to understand that on the physical level, not everybody has the same fitness. Also maybe mental level, it may be very difficult, for 2 hours to stay like very focused. So maybe your brain also needs, some rest. So this I want you to very much keep in mind. So now we're going to practice. So like in any practice, and when you do it at home, the golden rule, be gentle with yourself. You want to become friends with yourself. If you have to go a long road, I was in the Himalayas now with some friends. We went for some trekking for many days. First thing, become good friends with the people. If like for your whole trek you're going to be fighting and then something is happening, you're not trusting the person. You're like, I don't trust what he's telling me. Where are you going to go? If like in your way of practicing, like whenever you say I'm going to do some yoga or Tai Chi or whatever, immediately your body will start to be, I have to be careful again, this crazy person, who is going to torture me, And you don't have a very good relationship. So the most important thing, become, in a gentle way, we should little by little become friends. And then by becoming friends, we start to know each other more. And then by knowing each other more, that is how we can, for a long time, journey together. So this is Kita. So shall we move? Let's go.
We'll have one break. So we'll have juice and then start.
Okay.